Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel where everyone is welcome. Today's plan with me, I'm very excited about. It's definitely more nuanced, definitely more geared toward a specific audience, but I had so much fun creating it. And when I have an idea in my head that I'm like passionate about and excited about doing, it just sticks with me, and so I was like, I have to do this spread. So if you haven't seen the title of today's video, today's theme for March is Adventure Time, and hopefully, even if you haven't seen the show, you might recognize some characters, or you might just enjoy the art that I do today. But I had so much fun creating this spread, and each page is like a different character, a different like kingdom of Adventure Time. And if you haven't seen Adventure Time, it's just one of those shows that's so lighthearted and funny, and the humor in it is so random, and it's just one of those shows where you can literally turn your brain off, and it's amazing. I first started watching it, well, me and my husband watched it this past year, and we watched all the episodes in a row, so that was great to kind of binge them all. Of course, it's been around for forever. I remember when it came out, and I would watch some episodes sporadically just because my friends did, but the art in this was so fun to do, and honestly kind of simple. I just had to sketch it out first, but I'm very excited about it. And this is the cover page for March. So of course I drew BMO on the left there. He's just kind of chilling in the grass listening to some music. And over here we have Finn, and then we're gonna have Jake as well, and they're also laying in the grass, I imagine by their treehouse, which is where they live, if you haven't seen the show. Yeah, and they're just chilling on the grass, and then they've got butterflies and bees surrounding them, and Jake has his violin where Shelby lives, or his viola. I'm pretty sure it's a viola, not a violin. But yeah, so we have birds and bees surrounding them, because the theme song of the show starts out by saying, "Come along with me," and the butterflies and bees, and the bees just kind of make a cameo in every few episodes, as does the snail. The snail is in every episode, you just have to find him. But here we are finishing up Jake, again with his viola where Shelby lives. They're just chilling in the grass, and I do outline all of the characters. I just think it makes it look more bold and more detailed. You can kind of see them better as well, especially in the style of a cartoon with animation. But then for the actual color of the characters, I just used Crayola Super Tips, and then I do use a bit of paint, which you'll see here in a minute, but I only used it on the cover page, and I kind of wish I would have used it on some of the other pages as well. But that was simply because the background, there was so much color. I was not going to sit there and draw with a little Crayola Super Tip green on the background for the grass. So yeah, we do paint that, and then the rest of them are with markers. And as we are moving up to the title, and for this I drew inspiration from the title sequence. When the song is rolling, the ending comes up with the title of the show, and it has just the sword going through it. Of course, it's Adventure Time. I looked up the Adventure Time font on Pinterest and just picked and choose the letters that I needed. And so yeah, I thought it was really cool. I go back in with a darker red, kind of to make it that three-dimensional, and then we outline it again with our Sharpie gel marker. But for those that haven't seen the show, I think I mentioned this already, but I hope you still enjoy kind of the artwork. It's just fun. The characters in this show are so fun. They're so incredible, and they're so unique. I don't know who's my favorite. Me and my husband had this discussion. We were like, who is your favorite character, as we were watching the show? And there's just so many. He really likes Lemon Grab. I do like Jake. I like Shelby, is so funny. BMO, of course. There's just so many characters. Tree Trunks, of course. I had somebody tell me once at my old job that I was definitely Tree Trunks from Adventure Time, and I took that as a compliment. But I'm going in with my white Uni-ball gel pen and kind of adding some reflections on the sword just to give it a little more detail. But now we're going in with the paint that I talked about in this really vibrant green color. And this takes up a lot of time, so I do speed it up here in a minute. It'll get a little faster so you didn't have to sit and watch me paint the same thing over and over and over again. But I do go in with a small brush first. This is just acrylic paint, you know, the ones that are like 50 cents at the store. And I do go and outline each character because I did not want to mess up the characters that I just took time to draw. So we're going around each character and illustration with a smaller brush, and then we go back in with a bigger brush and we really fill up the rest of the pages. And you'll see once it's complete that it's still a little see-through and not quite as opaque as I would like, so I do go back over and do a second layer. But yeah, I hope you enjoy watching me paint this page green for a while. Again, I do speed it up in a little bit, but yeah, we're just gonna finish painting the page green and then we will move on shortly. Here's where you can kind of see what I was talking about, how it really needed that second layer. It didn't look terrible because it was just grass after all, but it really made a difference going back in with the second layer. And then once it had dried, I just took a green marker. I can't even tell you what brand this is. I just have some random markers in my collection, like a lot of them are Crayola Super Tips. I have some like traditional brush pens, some calligraphy pens, but I cannot tell you the brand. I've just like had this collection for a while. Does anyone else have that? Of just like random markers and you're like, I'm gonna use these because they work. But yeah, here we are again. We're going in on our calendar page and our habit tracker page. And I mentioned this earlier, but so each page I kind of go in with different characters with different like kingdoms, different lands and things like that. So the first page was just like Jake and Finn in their tree house where they live, and this is all about Ice King with his, is it called the Ice Kingdom? I think it's just called the Ice Kingdom. Yeah, so we're drawing Ice King, aka Simon, and he's also one of my favorite characters. I've said that about so many characters at this point, but he's just so funny and wacky. But here we are, we're drawing him with his crown, and then we are doing Gunter next to him, the Goonts, and then we're doing a couple more penguins as well around him, which I don't know their names. I know Gunter is the main guy, and I know that they're all G names, so they start with the letter G, but I can't think of any of the other penguins' names. So for the background, this is what I was talking about earlier, how I kind of wished I had gone in with paint as well, so it would look a little more cohesive, a little more put together. Not that it looks bad, but I thought since I was doing more of these shapes of different blues that I could just go in with my marker. But ultimately I was trying to make it look like the Ice Kingdom, where he lives on his mountain, all of the different shades of blue to look like different ice. That's kind of the inspiration for this background. But you can see here my camera cut out. It said my storage was full, so we had to go in and maneuver. And it's gonna cut out again as well when we move on to the habit trackers, but for the most part it was just repetitive work anyway, so I wasn't too upset that it cut out, but it's still just annoying when those little things happen and you don't know that they happen until a little later when you've already done lots of work. But it's okay, we're making the best of it. Like I said, it was just repetitive background work, and here it's about to cut out as well. I went for a horizontal style for my habit trackers this month just to try out something different than my normal mini calendar layout, but I think it's going to be good. But here we are flipping on over. We're going to go into our first weekly spread. This is again the only one that I show for this video. I do plan, however, on putting out another weekly spreads because I often do different ones, and this one there were just so many characters that I couldn't fit into the main part of this video that I wanted to include because, like I said, there's so many characters in this show and they're all important and they're all needed, and I could only fit so many in my main spread. And so for the rest of the weekly spreads, I did like Marceline, we did Rainicorn, tree trunks, people like that, and so I really wanted to include them, but I couldn't in this video, so there will be another video coming for the rest of my weekly spreads. I'm just not quite certain when that's going to be, but it will be coming soon. I did one for January and I kind of liked that. I didn't do one for February because, if I'm being honest, I got lazy and did not complete the rest of my weekly spreads, and I've just been doing to-do lists. I'm really bad about if I don't complete it all at once, then I'm not going to complete it at all, but it's okay. We're moving on, and so that video will be out soon. But this weekly spread, again, we're moving on to a different kingdom. This is the Candy Kingdom. So I just finished drawing Princess Bubblegum and, of course, Peppermint Butler. And here we're just drawing a banana guard. And around them I do different sorts of candy, just like lollipops, taffy, bubblegum? Yes, bubblegum. Why did that not sound like a word to me for a second? Gumball is the word I was looking for, but bubblegum is still correct. And then color-wise, of course, we're going in with lots of different pink because the Candy Kingdom is bright colors, bright people. People's not the right word, I guess. Characters, candy people. Here we are finishing up our weekly spread. I kept it pretty simple otherwise. I thought about going in with paint again in the background, but decided just to keep this more clean for my weekly spreads to do my to-do list. But we are finishing up highlighting, and here is when I go in and add in the first verse of that song that I was talking about, just in a simple little script. But other than that, we are coming up on the final flip through. Here is how it all turned out. I hope you enjoyed this month's theme, even if you haven't seen the show Adventure Time. And if you haven't, maybe now you will want to and check it out. But that is it, and thank you guys for watching.